Yo, what's good? This is Corey, your friendly neighborhood massage technician with a touch of liberation. And today I'm coming on here to talk with y'all about some ways to keep your body healthy and running with the current issues that we have surrounding the coronavirus out there nowadays. I wanted to lay out my what I like to call my four-part medicines, if you will, natural medicines for the body. That if these four things are implemented within your daily practices of your life, I am certain that it will help to aid you in either preventing diseases such as the coronavirus and others from totally bringing you down. And just like to generally keep a healthy and fruitful, fulfilling life. These are things that of course, like we're in a situation where I'm telling y'all this in the presence of an emergency situation, if you will. But again, like these aspects of these medicines are something that should be in your practice throughout your entire life. So that if another such situation comes about to where like catastrophic deaths are happening in the world, then you will feel safe thinking that, you know what, I've been doing these practices for X amount of time and I feel comfortable in my body. I know that my body will protect me and we will make it through. So with these four elixirs, if you will, only one of these is something that you consume that is outside of the body. The rest of the three that I'm going to mention to you are things that are activations of the body that will help you stay healthy. Okay? So, those four things, so y'all know what I'm talking about, is one, water, hydration, very important. Two, breath practices, knowing how to inhale, exhale, in many different aspects. That's number two. Three, movement, something that we do every single day. We're being a lot more intentional about it and why we're moving our bodies. And four, relaxation, calmness, rest for the body. See, all four of these things are technically independent of each other, but interdependent in a very strong way, to where if all of them are being practiced at the same time, they will kind of blend themselves within each other and how they're being utilized. And I'm going to bring up why they're very important for this particular instance that's going on right now with the coronavirus. Okay? So, let's jump off with number one. Water. Hydration. Why is water important to maintain, or hydration important to maintain in your body while we are currently in an emergency situation surrounding coronavirus? One, now, when it comes to water and hydration for our bodies, the main purpose, or at least the purpose that I ascribe to drinking water and keeping the body hydrated, is for the blood. It's for your blood. Is to maintain hydration of your blood cells. Okay? So, how to explain this? Now, of course, like we understand, I don't know how many people understand the importance of why blood is important for the body, but technically, in a very crude way to explain, blood is the transporter of nutrition and the expeller of waste in the body. When your blood is circulating through your entire body, what it's doing, one, of course, is going into your lungs to catch oxygen and other nutrition so that it can travel through the body and find areas that need this nutrition and oxygen to activate itself, right? And in the process of dropping off this oxygen and nutrients in the flow of its running around the body, it also picks up, I guess you could say, waste and fluids and stuff like that or whatever, and kind of takes them on to other areas, or takes them to, or should I say, what's the word I'm looking for here? In some respects, I can't really say that it takes them anywhere. It kind of dumps it off and then kind of goes and refills itself up with blood, fills itself up with oxygen. I may be mistaken on that. But in essence, the importance of the blood is to drop off nutrition and to pick up waste. So with that in mind, when the cells are hydrated, they have a certain level of attraction to them. Like, think about this. When you dry out food, right? Does anything actually stick to dried food? Not really. It tends to like crack and flake away and stuff like that, right? Hydration, or that moisture that sits inside of that cell when you fill it with water or have a nice hydration to your system, allows things to gravitate to and stick to, say, the cells or the blood cells that are in the body. So when it's like going through and dropping off nutrients, the waste can stick. The waste can stick to the blood or the blood cell as it travels it to another location. If there is no hydration there in these cells, like they're pruning, it has no means to like absorb said waste so that it can take it to another location. So making sure that the blood is hydrated gives the blood a greater sense of attraction to either to collect the oxygen and nutrients from the lungs so that it can distribute it throughout the body, and also to attract the waste so that it can stick to, so that it can be dispelled in other areas, right? Hydration is important for that very reason. Yes? You cool with that? All right. 2. Breathing. Breath. Very important. Now, one of the main reasons why the breath is important for this particular instance that's going on with the coronavirus is that the virus itself is attacking said lungs. That is where it is actually causing its destruction, is through the lungs and the capacity of the lungs and how they take in breath and take out breath. One, when it comes to the breath and bringing oxygen into the body, there are 2 important things to remember when we're thinking about why the importance of this is so, okay? I'm gonna bring your attention to, say, how we usually expel bacteria and viruses from the body when we are sick. It's through the cough or the sneeze, right? When we're coughing or sneezing, right? What is our body doing? So I want y'all to think about this. When we cough, it is an involuntary movement of the body. It's an involuntary movement of the diaphragm. Diaphragmatic, contraction, a quick contraction that pushes or expels air out of the lungs because for whatever reason, the body identifies that there's something there that it needs to get rid of out of your lungs. So it voluntarily or on its own accord says, you know what, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to expel this for you. And it contracts, causing you to cough. right? Same thing for the sneeze. The only difference between the sneeze and the cough is like there's an inhale that pushes to an exhale versus a cough that's like a continuous exhale. So sneeze, whereas a cough is, okay? Now, why is that important to say? Again, like I said, when it comes to the coronavirus that is going out here nowadays, one of the main symptoms that are going out there is noticing a cough, phlegm, and all that within the lungs. It's going to gather up. So having a means to voluntarily use that musculature to expel air from the lungs, or knowing how to voluntarily on your own accord create a cough, is a practice to get in the habit of at this point in time, because the purpose of that cough is to expel anything that is unnecessary in your lungs. So, a very natural way to work with that type of breathing, most would know it in the yoga world as the Ujjayi breath or the oceanic breath, where I have our mouth open, closed, and it's opening our throat and breathing out in that fashion. What that Ujjayi breath is doing is activating the diaphragm to push the lungs to expel the air. The importance of this is, one, to take the tension out of the lungs as you breathe. Because if we're breathing from our lungs, we are contracting and releasing from our lungs to get the air out. But if we breathe from the diaphragm, the lungs are relaxed, meaning that they're more malleable, meaning that technically you're massaging, in a sense, massaging your lungs to expel all the air out. So a good reason for knowing how to breathe diaphragmatically with like a voluntary cough or sneeze type of atmosphere or Ujjayi breath is to massage and expel all air from the lungs in a point, well, while your lungs are relaxed, so that you can squeeze out all the air in the lungs to get rid of any type of bacteria, infections, viruses, or anything that's sitting within your lungs. The importance of that style of breathing. Okay, I thought it was about to turn my, like, had a low battery sign, and I thought it was going to stop this thing from playing. Anyway, so that's the main importance of the breath when in regards to thinking about this coronavirus. The second is, and like this is going to tie into the movement aspect as well, but the second is the connection between the lungs, the diaphragm, and the cisterna chyli, I believe that's how you say it, that is a part of the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system in of itself is our waste management system. And what technically happens is it pushes or like kind of sucks in waste in the periphery of the body and sends it through to the what is the I'm trying to think of the areas. I can't think of an area like off the top of my head, but technically the lymphatic system is drawing that fluids, the waste fluids, to a particular section of the body to where it can be expelled through the waste of your feces or your urine. So when it comes to the lymphatic system, there are no pumps that move lymph through the body. There are none. Like say your heart, which is pumped electrically in some respects with that pulse, or your lungs, which are contracting with your muscles. There's no pump that pushes lymph fluids through the body other than your movement and how you move. So the body which is such a very genius system in of itself, designed itself in a way to where the catchment sites of lymph nodes are strategically placed near joints. So everywhere that you have a joint that move your body, there are lymph nodes that I guess you can call, how to say that, well, that help to suction waste into the lymph system and helps push it along throughout the body into the waste systems so that it can be released from the body. So everywhere that you have a joint in your body, there is a lymph node there that helps push lymph through. So your motor for your lymph system is literally your movement, okay? Bringing it back to breathing, cisterna chyli is, I guess you could say, the central lymph hub, or this lymph node, or like the biggest lymph node in the body. Kind of sits around the diaphragm here, yes? So here, again, the body is very smart in how it's built. The biggest catchment of your body, the biggest lymph node catchment of your body is strategically placed in an area that will continuously move. You will breathe whether you're asleep or not. You don't move all the time, right? Sometimes you go to sleep, your body is still, but you will still continue to breathe. And that cisterna chyli sits in a place that allows the lymph nodes, that allows the lymph to continuously move through the body just so long as you're breathing, okay? So I said that to say your breath is very important in moving lymph and waste in and out. Actually, I want to say in the body, but out of the body. So taking deep breaths in, especially diaphragmatically, which will activate that cisterna chyli, which will activate the suction of the lymph system to pull the waste into the tubulars of that lymph system so that it can draw and go out of the body through feces or urine. You have to be very intentional about your breath. And one good way to activate that cisterna chyli while breathing is to bring myself up a little bit so y'all can see. You can place your hand here, like a little underneath the rib cage. Like in that little section right there where the rib cage is, and breathe into your hand, pushing it in so that, again, you're kind of creating a little bit of tension in that area where the cisterna chyli sits. You're kind of squeezing that cisterna chyli by pushing your hand in the area where it sits. Breathing into that and pushing out can help force some of that lymph to start to go through the body and out. Because you want to keep that lymph system as fluid and running as much as possible. Because again, like if there's viruses and bacteria inside of the body, we don't want our lymph system to be, traffic jammed or like congested in any kind of way. You want that waste system to be flowing as fast as possible to get those diseases, that bacteria, that viruses to flush out, right? You want it to flush out as fast as possible. So again, movement of all and every place that you have joints is very important. Like creating a morning and evening movement routine where every part of your body that is joint related is moved in an intentional way is very important to help with the lymph system to push this waste out of your body and maintain a steady flow of traffic so that nothing gets stuck. No waste gets stuck in your body. Okay? So I kind of put the breath and the movement together in some respects. So I kind of hit on movement a little bit within the context of breathing, but they're very much connected to each other. Again, when it comes to movement, like I said before, is to make sure that you're moving all parts of your body. Yoga is really good about that. It's very intentional in the way to really address all areas of the body and make sure everything is moving continuously and fluidly. Dancing is another, what do you call, low impact means of getting everything moving and flowing in a very intentional way. I will say that when it comes to like all exercise, such as yoga and dancing and whatever means, just make sure that there's more of an intention to move everything as much as possible. Even think about your spine and how to like kind of modulate that a little bit more in your movements and like getting in between the what am I thinking about here? Between the spine, the spine, technically. Yeah. So be very intentional about your movement. Be very intentional about how you move your body. Make sure that you are engaging areas that are joint related throughout your body, and create a practice, like a literal practice around making sure all the joints are moved throughout the body throughout the day. Last, we have is relaxation and rest, which of course is very important in a time where there's a lot of stress and anxiety and fear in the world today. Again, when it comes to that being relaxed kind of goes hand in hand with your ability to move, goes hand in hand with your ability to breathe, and also still goes hand in hand with being hydrated. Because if your body's not hydrated, it's kind of hard to relax as well. Because there's like your body is dry, it gets stiff. Stiff creates, tension. Tension creates stress. You want to make sure that you're hydrated for that. And make sure that you're rested and understand how to relax areas of the body that normally don't get relaxed, especially like up here in the neck, the traps. Like I like to call them the I don't know muscles, because usually when you get tension in the body, it kind of raises those shoulders up, and they kind of get stuck up here. You got your work all day like this, These little areas that you got up here that are tense, it's hard for blood and harmful fluids to move through tense musculature. So the more you are relaxed in your body, the easier it is for things to flow through that body. So creating the relaxation practices are very important too. If you are good on meditation, meditation is good for the body. If you're good with prayer, prayer is kind of the same thing. If you dance, it's about the same thing. But either way, what you want to do is have a practice that engages your relaxation so that your body is a lot calmer in this state of high anxiety. The calmer you are, the more fluid your body is. The more fluid your body is, the easier the flow of fluids and nutrition and waste can move about the body in a very systematic and consistent manner. Yes? On top of the fact, let me also bring this up when it comes to relaxation. Now, say that you are coming down with some type of cold or whatever. You may actually get infected by said coronavirus. Now, what I have come to recognize with this virus is that it has been like the majority of casualties that have came about from this virus have been elders in younger people. And I would quantify that as those with weaker or compromised immune systems. Yes? Now, if you are an able-bodied person, your ability to ward off a virus such as corona is probably much higher than, say, someone who is older and have lived in the world and their body has gone through a lot more changes. I say that to say this. Sometimes us as able-bodied people tend to have this like prideful sense that, oh, I don't care, you know, I can do what I want, you know, I don't have to stop working because my body will take care of it, and I have this feeling that my body will take care of it. But here's the thing. If you have been infected, you can infect people. And you have a potential to affect those who have weaker constitutions towards this disease. Okay? So when it comes to this disease, if you feel that you're coming down with this and you feel that you're an able-bodied person, you can fight it, quarantine yourself. Like, you don't want anybody else to have to deal with this, even if you can deal with it yourself. This is a protection for those who are elder and those with weaker immune systems, right? You want to protect them. So by protecting them, stay away from them if you feel that you have been affected by said disease. Even if you can fight it off. Don't go out there in the world and try to act like you can work it off. No, stay at home, work it out, get it out your system. Once you feel good, come back into the world. But don't give that out to anyone. You don't know if they have the means within their own body to fight it off. Right? It's very important. Very important. Protect the elders. Protect those with weaker constitutions. If you feel that you can survive it, you feel that you have a better body for it, and if you feel like you're infected, do not come in contact with other people. Do not. Okay? So, again, with those 4 things I just mentioned, hydration, breathing, movement, relaxation, these 4 constitutions, if you create a nice little practice around these 4 things, like maybe drinking a gallon of water each day, drink a half a gallon of water each day, whatever that amount of water is to you that you feel like that you feel comfortable with drinking. Because again, like if you create the practice of drinking water, like most people when they start drinking water is like, oh man, I have to pee like every 2 seconds. Your body gets used to the water intake, okay? So as you start to create the practice of drinking more water, your body will understand how to hold more water. So it won't understand how to hold it if there is no reason to. If you're not drinking water, your body's not going to prepare itself to take in more water, okay? So you have to start that yourself. Start drinking water. Create a practice around drinking water. Create a practice around breathing intentionally. The Ujjayi breath, using so to expel the lungs as much as possible. Utilizing a voluntary cough type if you want. That can really help too. It's like just doing that continuously just kind of helps expel and get some of that stuff out of your lungs that's unnecessary. That can help. Ujjayi breath, breathing with the diaphragm, which activates the musculature of the diaphragm but relaxes the lungs, allows you to squeeze out your lungs to expel any type of debris or unnecessary things that are sitting inside of your lung capacity, okay? So engage with Ujjayi breath as much as possible. Movement. Make sure that you're moving the body to get the lymph system activated and get the lymph flowing throughout the body. You don't want waste to sit in your body any longer than it has to. Create a practice around moving your entire body where you have joints. The lymph nodes sit at joint sites. If you're moving your joints, you're moving your waist. If you're moving your joints, you're moving the waste out of your body. Ensure that you are moving your joints to move the waste out of your body intentionally. Engage with all, it's like go from head to toe, and the neck, boom, 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 shoulders, arms, chest, spinal cord, and all of its undulations, from the cervical to the thoracic to the lumbar to the sacral to the coccyx. Engage all of those levels of the spine, moving the legs, moving the feet. Make sure you engage all joint locations, because there are catchment sites near all joints. If you're moving them, you're moving waste. Yes? Relaxation. Make sure that you find time to rest. Make sure you find time to meditate. Make sure you find time to pray. Whatever it is that calms the body, calms the mind, calms your spirit, calms your persona, calms your whole body. Find time for that. I know it's a dog eat dog world. Everybody needs to make money. Everything's so expensive. I get that, but just taking maybe a good 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. Just sit down. If you just want to lay down on the floor, or just kind of sit in the meditative posture, just find time for it. And again, if you are coming down with symptoms or whatever, stay at home. Stay at home. Do not jeopardize anyone else's health because you feel you may have the capacity to deal with said disease. Stay at home. Rest. No one's going to say anything. If you did so, you said that you feel under the weather, they will gladly say, I'm sure, stay at home. So stay at home if you're feeling sick, okay? Stay at home. All right. So those are my little tips and tricks to help with this crisis that's going on nowadays. I want to make sure that everybody's being healthy and finding ways to feel safe. I know that it's a trying time right now. It's like people are very reluctant to be interactive with others, avoiding touch and avoiding certain demographics of people and all of this and whatnot. I just want to say that, of course, we're in a trying time. We've been here before. We've done this before, and we have survived it before. So we have the tools. The tools are within us to live a natural, healthy life. And I guarantee just by engaging with those 4 things as much as possible during this trying time will keep you in a preventative means of staying healthy and fit and working for the benefit of yourself and others. Okay? So, 'tis my time. Just wanted to drop some nuggets of information on you all. Hopefully it's helpful for you as you'll go through this time that we're in. And I beseech you to stay healthy. Let me also say that I am not a doctor. I'm not prescribing anything. These are all recommendations and advice that I have used for myself. Okay? I'm a massage therapist. I can only recommend. I cannot prescribe. So these are just thoughts that I'm giving to you all with hopes that they do benefit you in your life. Okay? Signing off. 'Tis Corey, the MT massage therapist. So Touch of Liberation is my business. And I say, be well.